A Monday afternoon bad news dump. Usually happens on Friday. Not sure why it didn't happen last Friday. Maybe they didn't want to drop a turd into the Combine Punch Bowl. That really...
Probably.
I hadn't thought about that. Hadn't thought about that. That's probably the case.
Yes.
Probably
I would think
the
so.
case.
Right. Maybe part of the reason is do it on a Monday. Make sure it does catch news. Make sure it does set an example for the rest of the league. Maybe this is something the NFL, they're not going to shy away from. This has got to be a firm no, like this can't happen, and they're just realize they got to fight this one head on.
And for those of you who wonder what we're talking about, Calvin Ridley of the Falcons has been suspended for at least a year for betting on games during the time that he was on the non-football illness list away from the team in Florida with his cell phone device, made some wagers, bet on the Falcons as part of a parlay, $1,500 he admits he bet, and he gave up the goods when the NFL found out about it. The NFL was alerted to it by a third-party vendor. It's all electronic. It's all available. It's not like in the old days when you had a bookie and nobody knew anything about anyone, and it was easier to avoid creating a clear electronic footprint of your activities. So, if nothing else, what Calvin Ridley did was extremely stupid. And here's why it's stupid. Players are told all the time.
Yes.
You can't bet on football.
Right.
You can't. You just can't do it. And we can talk about whether to what extent we should be showing some sympathy, some compassion, some understanding. The guy had stuff going on in his life. Obviously, he wasn't with the team. And I look at it this way, because my son's 25. He may be older than Calvin Ridley. Whenever my son does something really dumb, and he doesn't do really dumb things very often anymore, but when your child does something dumb, there's usually an explanation for it that isn't necessarily dumb. It helps you understand the stupidity. And at the core, it still may be something very stupid, but usually there's more to the story. So I look at it this way. This guy's the fifth player in more than 100 years of NFL football. Only the fifth player to be suspended for gambling on football games. And it is a severe punishment. It's always been a 1 year. Now, they've only done it 5 times, and they've got much more flexibility than that, but it's always been 1 year. Alex Karras and Paul Hornung in 1963, Art Schlichter in 1983, Josh Shaw, which I had forgotten about in 2019. He was on injured reserve with the Cardinals. 1 year for him. It's always 1 year.
Yeah.
But I look at this and I say, hopefully he appeals. And people say, well, why should he bother? He's already admitted to it. It's one thing to admit to it. It's another thing to say, does it really deserve a year?
A full year? Right.
Does it deserve a full year? Because I want to see the evidence that there was something he was doing that in some way undermined the integrity of the game other than merely placing the bets.
Right.
Without any inside information. Is he calling teammates? Is he calling coaches? Is he trying to get information about what they're planning to do? And the mere fact that it was a parlay bet tells me that he was just screwing around. This isn't, I have some very useful nugget and I have reason to believe. Yeah, so I'm going to put a bunch of money on that and try to make a big score. And I understand you can't have a blurry line. I hope that the commissioner ultimately takes a broader look at this, especially in light of the fact that the NFL is currently making tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. $270 million, I think, was the figure in estimated gambling revenue for the NFL this past year from sponsorships. 7 different gambling sponsorships for the NFL. And look, I understand, and I've been through this on Twitter. There's a certain hypocrisy that's baked into it, but there are plenty of industries where you can't partake in the thing that the company does to make its money. I get it. I just hope that there'll be some nuance, some sympathy, and some compassion for Calvin Ridley in this case, because he did admit to it right away, because there is no evidence that it was a broader issue or that he was undermining the integrity of the game with the use of inside information or actively on the field trying to engineer the outcome a certain way. He was on the non-football illness list. He was detached from the team. He got bored on a Sunday and he made some bets. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, let's not just have 1 year without regard to the circumstances if someone ever does this. It's a pretty strong message, but maybe there should be a little more flexibility. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with you there. I mean, first off, hey, it's a dumb move, right? I mean, we know that with Calvin Ridley. Just to bring you back what players here as far as, gambling and how that goes, it's really one of the first videos you watch when you become an NFL football player and get drafted. You go to the rookie symposium. They play a video about, hey, here's life in the NFL. The first thing they hit on is gambling and how it's prohibited in the NFL. So you know that. There's no way around not knowing that gambling is not allowed by NFL players or employees or anything of that nature. Then you get to training camp just a few weeks later after that rookie symposium, and you really see the same video again. There's going to be NFL officials that are going to be there to kind of lay the land. Hey, here's some new rules in the NFL. There'll be some spokesperson there. And again, you're going to see another video that's going to tell you, it's just going to spend 3 to 4 minutes telling you gambling is prohibited and you're not allowed to do that. So there's no way around it, let alone everybody in the locker room knows, and you just don't mess around with that. So that to me is the first thing where I just go, man, how could he do this? How could you do this and especially in this way with an app downloaded, and it's it sounds like it was all through his name. It's not even a friend's name or anything like that. But there's the first mistake, certainly. There's no way around that in the NFL. Now, as far as that, now the rest, the punishment, Mike, I'm with you. I mean, common sense here a little bit. We talked about common sense and officiating a lot through the NFL season. This is one where, again, it's a star football player. We know that. Again, the integrity of the game is legit, and we all want it to be, perfect and the way we, as far as competitive and nobody cheating. But at the same time, to take a year away from a player, for this, I get it. Yes, it's betting, but you could still make the same mark on the guy by suspending him 8 games. 8 games is still, everyone's going to go, whoa, wow, he's missing half a year. That would get the point across. For what? How much money was it? $1,500. Again, no evidence of anything else. I understand there's like a no, what do I want to say? No nonsense policy with this. But come on here. To me, for a guy like Calvin Ridley to lose a full year, that doesn't seem right either. There's got to be some common ground here, and hopefully he does appeal it and can get some games knocked off of this.
He did try to tweet his way through it, and hopefully he would have had better advice than what he got when he tweeted his way through it. But again, I don't want to say that dumb decisions justify this kind of punishment.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.